Summer stretched on without a single drop of rain. Day by day, Woodland Haven began to wither under the sun. The squirrels' orchard stayed bare, no fruit, no flowers. The trees gave up long before they usually would. Even the bees moved slower now. Their hives echoed with silence, and the honey jars remained nearly empty. Boris the badger searched the garden and found just one lonely carrot, small, dry, and clinging to cracked soil. Everyone gathered in the town square, their faces heavy with worry. Something had to be done, and soon. "We need water. We need a plan," said Mayor Nightwiser, looking out over his tired friends. "The creeks are dry," someone said, but another voice added, "Wait, what about the spring?" "Look here," cried a young badger, pointing at a map. "The old spring! It's still marked right here!" So a small team set out toward the hills, hoping to find the lost spring and bring its water back home. They climbed higher and higher under the hot sun, following faint paths and broken signs. "Look!" the squirrel cried out. "The dry creek bed! It's here! We must be getting close to the spring!" As the sun dipped behind the hills, they paused, and then, finally, they heard it, a quiet, distant trickle of water. A narrow stream shimmered between the rocks. After all the heat and dust, the spring was real and flowing. "It's clean and cold," Boris said, kneeling to sip. "We have to find a way to bring it back to the village." Right then and there, they pulled out scraps of cloth and thread, sketching a rough plan for a wooden water channel. Back in the village, the crops were nearly gone, and the weight of worry hung in the air. Suddenly, a young squirrel raced into the square, out of breath. "They found it!" she called. "They found the spring!" Without delay, everyone jumped into motion. There was no time to waste. It was time to build. Badgers dug new paths, bears hauled wooden beams, and squirrels ran ahead to scout the best route home. The wooden channel stretched farther each day, winding like a ribbon across the dry hills, leading the way back to hope. "Tighten it here," she said, pointing at a seam. Every pair of paws mattered now. Every stitch made a difference. A young badger stepped forward with the final plank in his arms. He placed it with care. The whole team stood ready. With one steady push of the lever, water rushed into the channel. Cheers rang out through the hills. The water flowed swiftly down the slope, clear, cool, and fast, bringing relief with every splash and sparkle. The squirrels guided it carefully toward their orchard, where parched roots were waiting. The trees finally drank again. In the gardens, the badgers dug trenches. As the water reached them, the dry soil soaked it in like a deep breath. The bears filled buckets and carried water to the bees, the littlest ones, and every thirsty corner of the grove. One by one, the leaves began to unfurl, a little greener each hour. Life was returning, leaf by leaf. The clouds gathered. Rain had finally come just when it was needed most. Rain poured over Woodland Haven, gentle and steady. But this time, no one ran for shelter. They all stayed, smiling. Bertha held out jars to catch the falling rain, while cubs splashed joyfully in the puddles, their laughter echoing. Mayor Nightwiser stood on the schoolhouse steps. Pride filled his heart. They had all done it together. The team sat in peaceful silence, their fur still muddy, their paws sore, but their faces beamed with quiet triumph. In the garden soil, something stirred. A tiny green sprout broke through, soft, bright, and full of promise. The wooden channel shimmered as water flowed through it, steady and strong. With every drop, hope traveled with it. Soon the cleanup began. Old, wilted plants were gently removed, making space for fresh, new growth. The badgers unrolled new blueprints. This time, they planned not just for now, but for all the seasons to come. Beside the schoolhouse, the bears built sturdy rain barrels, stitching gutters to guide the next storm's water wisely. The squirrels hung signs on trees, each embroidered with care. Use water wisely, gentle reminders to protect what they'd gained. When the next rain came, it filled the barrels and channels, not the fields. The land stayed strong and steady. The harvest came later than usual and smaller, but it was enough to eat, enough to share. And they did share it, every last bit, just as they always had and always would. Even the smallest paws had helped, and everyone remembered. No gesture was too tiny to matter. In the end, their village had been transformed, not by the storm itself, but by all that followed after. They had been tested by drought and hardship, and through it, they had grown stronger together. Now, no matter the season, spring or summer, they would be ready, prepared in heart and home. And so, Woodland Haven rested in golden light. The water flowed, the roots ran deep, and every heart was full.